There's a quiet revolution happening right on our streets. That constant roar of engines, it's being replaced by the hum of electric vehicles. And yeah, it's a green transition we can literally see and feel. But hidden just beneath all that progress, there's a ticking clock. Some people are even calling it the lithium time bomb. Today, we're going to talk about how we can defuse it. All right, here's the game plan. First, we'll tackle the problem head on. What is this lithium time bomb? Then, we'll zoom out and look at the global squeeze for minerals. After that, we'll get into a pretty radical solution: mining our city streets. We'll even check out the new green chemistry that makes it possible. And finally, see how policy and profit are tying it all together. So, first up, let's get to the heart of the matter. This big push toward green tech, which is amazing, don't get me wrong, is also creating a totally new and really urgent waste problem. So, you gotta ask yourself this one simple question. With every awesome new EV that hits the road, with every new smartphone in our pockets, what's the hidden cost? What's the price we're not really talking about? Well, the answer is pretty straightforward. And honestly, it's massive. We're talking about e-waste. It's one of the fastest growing piles of trash on the entire planet. A literal mountain of our old gadgets and dead batteries. And this is not just harmless junk. Oh, no. When lithium-ion batteries end up in a landfill, they become seriously hazardous. You've got heavy metals, lithium, cobalt, nickel, that can just leach out into our soil, into our groundwater. For people, exposure can cause some nasty stuff, from nausea all the way to neurotoxicity. And maybe worst of all, these batteries can just catch fire spontaneously, causing these toxic landfill fires that are an absolute nightmare to put out. But here's where it gets even crazier. This isn't just a waste problem. The very same batteries we're tossing in the trash are filled with materials our entire global economy is scrambling to get more of. It's a paradox that's creating a massive supply chain headache. Now, take a look at this. This chart tells a pretty startling story about a huge vulnerability in the system. I mean, just look at that concentration. A single country, China, processes somewhere between 70 and 95% of the world's most important battery minerals, like lithium and cobalt. That creates a gigantic bottleneck, a huge supply chain risk for literally everyone else. And this quote right here, it just nails the complete absurdity of the whole situation. It's like, we're poisoning the planet with one hand, and with the other hand, we're throwing away the exact same stuff we need to build a greener future. The whole cycle is just broken. So what you're looking at here really illustrates our two main options. On the left, you've got traditional mining. It uses a ton of energy, and it often leads to deforestation, water contamination, the whole deal. And on the right, our cities, our landfills, our recycling centers, they've accidentally become one of the richest, most concentrated sources of these minerals on the planet. And this leads us to a really cool, kind of radical, but totally logical solution: urban mining. It's all about changing how we think about waste and starting to see our cities for what they are, these incredibly valuable above-ground mines. So, what in the world is urban mining? Well, to put it simply, it's the process of pulling out all the good stuff from the things we throw away. So instead of digging giant holes in the ground, we can actually harvest the valuable metals and elements that are already in our electronics. We're turning a waste stream into a resource stream. And when you put the two side by side, the benefits of urban mining are just staggering. It can use up to 13 times less energy. It cuts down on pollution because you're keeping hazardous waste out of landfills. And the big one, it conserves our planet's limited natural resources. It's a closed loop. And if you need just one fact to really wrap your head around the potential here, this is it. The concentration of precious metals in our e-waste is often way higher than in the actual ores we dig out of the ground. A single ton of old phones is literally a gold mine. Okay, so this all sounds fantastic in theory, right? But how does it actually work? Well, the answer is in some seriously cool breakthrough tech, a new kind of green chemistry that's making this whole process clean, efficient, and actually profitable. It all starts with this stuff. This powder is called black mass. It's what you get when you take thousands of old lithium-ion batteries and just shred them. Yeah, it looks like a pile of dirt, but it is jam-packed with valuable metals like lithium, cobalt, and nickel, all just waiting to be extracted. So the real magic here is a process that uses these special green solvents. The technical name is deep eutectic solvents, or DES. So instead of using harsh acids or super high heat smelting, this process uses a biodegradable solvent to just dissolve that black mass. Then you can actually tune the chemistry to pull out specific metals one by one with incredible purity. And the best part? The solvent can be reused over and over, creating this awesome closed-loop system with almost no waste. So just how well does it work? Well, the companies that are pioneering this tech are hitting a 98% recovery rate for those critical metals. That is nearly perfect. We're getting back almost everything we would have just thrown away. And it's not just good for the planet, it's good for the wallet. This green chemistry is about 30% cheaper than the old traditional methods. It's a win for the environment and a win for the bottom line. But amazing technology is only half the battle. For a truly circular economy to take off, you absolutely need the right business incentives and the right rules in place. And right now, that's exactly what's starting to happen. We're seeing this major regulatory push happening all over the world. You've got international agreements like the Basel Convention tightening the rules on hazardous waste. But the real game changer is something called Extended Producer Responsibility, or EPR. New guidelines are making the companies that make the products legally and financially responsible for what happens to them at the end of their life. So all of a sudden, recycling isn't just a nice thing to do, it's a legal and financial must. And all of this is adding up to a colossal market opportunity. I mean, just look at these projections for 2030. You combine battery recycling, e-waste, and mining feedstocks, you're looking at a market way over $100 billion. This is not some small, feel-good industry anymore. This is a pillar of the future global economy. Which really leaves us with one final thought, doesn't it? The technology to turn our toxic trash into treasure is already here. The economic reasons to do it are lining up perfectly. So maybe the biggest mountain we have left to move isn't the one in our landfills, but the one in our own heads, rethinking what we call waste in the first place, and finally seeing the treasure for what it is.